Time is not linear, but rather an infinitely fluid vacuum of color, layered parallel to all other references of time and unified in a single human experience. As in, an infinite series of parallel existences, all existing in the same moment, only accessible from one perspective at a time. The future already existing parallel to the current and the past, all affecting each other's realities and outcomes, playing out karmic cycles. What I am now is a version of myself perceiving my present, affecting my future, and healing my presently unfolding past. This morning, in my mind's eye, I saw a series of 7 tennis courts, identifying in different colors, all with tennis ball machines launching balls onto the court in unison. The color perceived determined which layer. I could get a glimpse of a different tennis court, retain a memory of it in feeling and vision, one that I would retain on my current court and use as a reference point to base all actions and decisions on, until one day I find myself in that other tennis court, with the past court retained as a memory. A glimpse of a future timeline, providing a reference point for me to reconcile with it, to see it, to feel it, and to become it. I sat with this for a while, not understanding the logic of the 7 colors, as they would then limit the number of timelines available to me. But after considering all of these existences running parallel to each other, it makes complete sense to me that the 7 colors are not blocked into separation. Instead, each tone blends into the next, and each point of color is a frequency with illumination, the brilliance of light, determining where my present consciousness is perceiving itself and its surroundings. And when I say parallel, I mean alongside each other, but also not in a linear manner, but all in one moment. This telling me that there are other aspects of me in other places, a spectrum of versions of me from different perspectives, right in this moment. However, my perception and density limit me to perceive only one at a time. And what I'm sharing today is a pocket of words gifted from other versions of me that need me to convey this message to myself, that need to shift my perspective of time so that I can get to where I want to be faster, instead of trapped in this humanly fabricated definition of what time is and how it works, because it's hindering my ability to navigate life in time with ease and with clarity. Unable to grasp and integrate the truth of time, we are stuck in a clock that feels like it's starting to tick faster and faster compared to before, as though it is escaping us, when it is actually revealing itself to us. The purpose of a clock is to track time. However, as I feel its accelerating passage, it is becoming more and more clear that a clock cannot actually do this. Unless time is literally a measure to support humanity to feel some semblance of control when identifying a point to reference or aim towards in relation to our activities as a unit. As far as measuring the quantum between those measures, a clock does not do that. It's rather ironic for creation to take the one thing that humans are certain they can measure for sure, the thing upon which we base our goals and plans in life on, and to isolate each and every one of us into feeling something that makes no logical sense, but just is. What a way to unite us. One common feeling becomes an undeniable understanding of where we might be as a global nation. In order for a clock to give us a meaningful and truthful sense of time, its ability to measure progress and productivity would then need to take into account that immeasurable quantum held between each measure, each gap between each second, but it cannot. Time is fixed to a human structure that does not accommodate what time really is, which means that its only use to me is to be able to communicate to other people when something can be expected and to create some semblance of alignment to mark points where we can agree to intercept. So I Googled this meaning of the word interception, and it describes it as the action of stopping and catching something or someone before that thing or person is able to reach a particular place. That's the purpose of the clock, to help us grasp time and to ensure that we can catch each other so we're not all drifting to wherever with no map to find each other again. The clock assists us to interact as a unit. We've extended its power beyond its purpose. and it has now interfered with the freedom with which we are able to travel across time. Time does not exist. When time is described as short or long, this is an immeasurable feeling that is being described, not a measure of time. Time does not exist, and humanity's observation of it as a base structure for order, and humanity's need for it, is a sign of how we feel the need to feel in control, even when we do not have it. Now more than ever, we can feel that time does not, in fact, measure time. It is just a number that helps us to identify which point to return to or aim towards in relation to other humans, but it is now crippling us. We can feel that decisions are now being made more frequently. Transformations are taking place more rapidly, and one can feel the ephemeral transience of time, as though it's all visible in the palm of the hand. It has never been more important to foster resilience and to not cling to past versions of ourselves, lest the present moment not only passes us by, but escapes us. Leaves us inside a clock, trapped outside of what time actually is. The quickening of time is a gift to humanity, encouraging us to be more mindful of our internal perception of our own satisfaction or dissatisfaction. By doing this, we can journey through vision, find ourselves on a parallel tennis court, in a tennis court we desire or one that holds information to be retrieved by us. Through mindfulness, we may capture a glimpse of this court or even sit with it for a while. Time is not running away from us. What it's doing for us is intensifying our perception in a world of medicating feelings, numbing them, and one that has conditioned us to measure productivity on a clock. The Creator is now revealing a solution to bring us back in touch with why we are here, to help us see into alternate parallels, to pull them into our present. I am now left with the truth that all of life is all in one moment, that if I integrate this newly clarified understanding of time, I may put a request out to an alternate version of myself to share wisdom with me, that it may continue to reveal it to me in a way that I can translate. However absurd the information sounds to my current present self, the way it unfolds is exactly how it intends to be understood. This information that is understood to me without my active participation in its learning. This is the place I visited today. Knowledge retrieved through vision, imprinted on me across my forevers, and I believe it has value in the present. After closing my laptop and contemplating what this audio means to me, John Lennon's words came through from his song, Imagine. As the first chord came in, I was overcome by emotion. It wasn't sadness. It wasn't love. I realized it was grief and relief, and everything falling into place to make perfect sense. All versions of me, past, present, and future, meeting in one place, rejoicing with relief that I got the message. My heart hiccuping in my lungs and chest, releasing the grief to make room for a version of me that knows that time does not exist and never existed, and to place the clock back where it belongs as a structure to help me interact with the world. 10-year-old me who used to wonder to herself whether anything else was ever happening outside of her own perception, and why she felt like there are questions to be answered about what was happening outside of her now. She cried tears of relief too. Her question was valid. She was instantly unburdened, receiving closure to all of her questions. My higher self crying too, that she too is now free. This audio in particular is dedicated to John Lennon, who knew there was a better future for all of us, one of unity. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one.